Hello everyone. So today, as promised, we will be starting with the anatomy session. So every Monday and Wednesday, to make you aware, we will be knowing about the anatomy. So today session, I will just introduce you to the bones of the human body, which is very much important. First thing is you should know what are the bones we have for our human body. Slowly, we will come to the details of this bones. So what is actually anatomy? Anatomy is the study of the structure and function of the human body. So when we talk about anatomy, what is actually our anatomy? It is the study of the structure and function of the human body. तो anatomy क्या है? सो क्या होता है कि ह्यूमन व्हाट इज एनाटॉमी? ये होता है स्टडी ऑफ द स्ट्रक्चर एंड फंक्शन ऑफ द ह्यूमन बॉडी. तो एनाटॉमी में बहुत सारा ब्रांचेस है. वी हैव लॉट एंड लॉट ऑफ सब डिविजन्स ऑफ एनाटॉमी. व्हाट आर द सब डिविजन्स वी हैव? इट कैन बी स्टडीड अंडर माइक्रोस्कोप, so that becomes microanatomy. It can be studied under with the naked eyes, that is called as macroanatomy. Micro matlab small. So if you want to study this thing, you have to go for the microscope. Macro means enlarge. So if you go for the macroanatomy, what you have to do is you have to know its various divisions. So we will have this in another session where we will be knowing about the macroanatomy. But today I'll just introduce you to all the bones of our human body. So the first question comes here in exams. They will ask you is how many bones is there in the adult? So our adult human body has how many bones? It has 206 bones. How many bones are there in the adult? It is having 206 bones, and in the pediatric approximately we have the 300 bones. So what is the number of adult bones? That is 206. And what is the number of pediatric bones? That will be approximately 300. So how this 300 to 206 it comes? It will come by ossification. The bones grow, they join together, and through ossification, this 300 bones fuses sometime and becomes or forms 206 bones. So now, our human body will be divided into two regions. One is the axial skeleton, that is which will lie in the x-axis, and we have the appendicular skeleton. The axial skeleton will comprise of skull bone, vertebral column, thoracic cavity, hyoid bone. These all bones will come under the axial skeleton. We have the appendicular skeleton. These are the bones of the upper limb and lower limb. So in the upcoming sessions, I will also discuss how many axial bones are there, how many appendicular skeleton bones are there. So now, the bone of the head or cranium is called as the skull bone. So this bone will have the facial bones. So you can see here, these are the facial bones on the top, and we have the cranial bones. So there are 14 facial bones and there are 14 cranial bones. So 28. Means among that there will be the air ossicles also will come. Next we have the vertebral column, cluster of many vertebrae, and the vertebral column for the adult will be 26 vertebra, and for the pediatric it is 33 vertebra, where 5 sacrum will fuse to 1 and 4 coccyx will fuse to 1. So what are the divisions of the vertebral column we have? We have 7 cervical vertebra, we have 12 thoracic vertebra, we have 5 lumbar vertebra, we have 5 sacral vertebra which fuse to 1, and 4 coccygeal we fuse to 1. So in adult, how many vertebrae are there? There are 26 vertebrae, and for the pediatric there is 33. Again, a very important thing. Next we have the bone of the neck region. Anteriorly, the neck region, the posterior is covered by the cervical. The neck region posteriorly is covered by cervical vertebra. Anteriorly we have the hyoid bone. As indicated here, this is the hyoid bone. Next, coming to the bone of the shoulder region, the shoulder girdle. The shoulder girdle will form of two bones. Anteriorly, we have the clavicle bone. This is the collarbone or clavicle bone. Posteriorly, we have the shoulder blade or scapula bone. So the shoulder region is formed by what bone? That is the scapula bone. The clavicle is the bone which will form the collar. That is the anterior part of the shoulder girdle. And Next, it will be the upper limb formation. It will start the axillary region. The brachial region will have the humerus bone. So this is a humerus bone. Next, for the forearm, we have the radius and ulna. So as per anatomical position, the radius always will be to the lateral side and the ulna will be towards the medial side. So what is the bone to the medial side? That is the ulna bone. What is the bone to the lateral side of the forearm? That is the radius bone. Next, we have the hand complex. The hand complex is comprising of 8 carpal, 5 metacarpal and 14 phalanges. So this all will be taught to you in details. So hand complex bones are what? We have the 8 carpal bone, 5 metacarpal and 14 phalanges. So both the hand will have how many phalanges? 14 plus 14, 28. Both the hands will have how many metacarpal? 5 plus 5, 10. Single hand will have how much? 5. So listen to the externals what they ask. How many carpals? 8. Both hand? 8 plus 8, 16. How many radius? 2. Both hand? 2. Single hand? 1. What is the lateral bone of the forearm? Radius. What is the medial bone of the forearm? Ulna. Next is coming to the chest cavity bones, thoracic cavity bones. The central midline will have the sternum bone. Then there will be the costal cartilage. This is the cartilage and we have 12 pairs of ribs. Among them, first 7 ribs will be called as the true ribs. They have connection with the vertebra and sternum. So they are called as vertebrosternal rib. True rib or क्या नाम है? Vertebrosternal rib. So first 7 will start from the vertebra and join to the sternum. 8, 9 and 10. This 3 are called as false ribs. They will not directly connect to the sternum. They will connect to the 7th costal cartilage. So they are the false ribs. They are called as vertebral costal ribs. Vertebrocostal ribs. And the last 11 and 12 will start from the vertebra but will not join with the costal cartilage or sternum. So they are called as the floating ribs. So how many we have ribs? The ribs are lateral to the chest wall cavity. We have 12 pairs of ribs. First 7 are called as true ribs. 8, 9, 10 are false ribs. They are connecting with the 7th costal cartilage. And we have 11 and 12, the floating ribs. Vertebral ribs, vertebrocostal ribs, vertebrosternal ribs. Next, coming to the lower pelvic region, we have the bone that is which forms the pelvic girdle. The pelvic girdle is formed by the 2 hip bones. So this is the hip bone. It has 3 parts: ilium. Next, it has the pubic and it has the ischium. So the ilium bone is comprising of 3 bones: ilium, ischium and pubis. Next, we have the femur, the bone of the thigh region, that is femur. How many femurs we have? 2. Next, bone of the knee joint. The knee joint is formed. There is a sesamoid bone of the body, largest sesamoid bone, that is the patella. This is the patella. Next, we have the bone of the legs. The second largest bone is the tibia, and with it we have the fibula. So our tibia is the medial bone of the leg and fibula is the lateral bone. How many tibias we have? 2. Both leg, 1, 1, 2. Fibula, 1 plus 1, 2. The next bone of the foot complex, again we have 7 tarsals, 5 metatarsals and 14 phalanges. So what is the difference between tarsal bone and metacarpal carpal bones? Carpal bones are present in the hand complex. Tarsal bones are present in the foot complex. How many tarsals? 7. How many carpals? 8. Metacarpal and metatarsal. Metacarpal is present in the hand complex. Metatarsals are present in the foot complex. How many? 5 plus 5. So 5 metatarsal, 5 each hand, 10. 5 metacarpals, 5, 5, 10 and 14 phalanges again. So in total in the human body there is 14 plus 14 plus 14 plus 14. So that is 56 phalanges will be there in total. For the upper limb, how many? 14 plus 14, 28. For the lower limb, 14 plus 14, 28. So this is all the bones of our human body. So, okay. So what are the bones we have in the axial skeleton? We have the skull bone. It comprises of 8 cranial bones. 6 will be our air ossicles. So here 14, 8 plus 6. 14 facial bones are there. We'll come in details. Vertebral columns are there. Vertebral column comprises of 7 cervical, forming the neck region, 12 thoracic, forming the thoracic cavity posteriorly, lumbar, forming the abdominal area or wrist area, waist area, sacrum, pelvic posteriorly, and coccyx, the tailbone. This is the structure of a typical vertebra. We'll also come in details in upcoming sessions. Stay tuned with us. Next, we have the bone of the neck region anteriorly. We have the hyoid bone. This is the bone where it's get fracture when there is an hanging case. Next, we have the bones of the upper appendicular region, the bone posterior shoulder blade. We have the scapula. Anteriorly, we have the clavicle or collarbone, 2 in number. Scapula also 2 in number. We have the humerus, 2, forming the arm region, brachial region or axillary region, we can say. Radius forms the forearm region. The lateral bone of the forearm is the radius. Ulna is the medial bone. And the hand complex forms of 8 carpals, 5 metacarpals, 14 phalanges. The chest cavity comprises anteriorly, midline. We have the sternum bone, is called as a breastbone. Then we have laterally the 12 pairs of ribs. Among them, first 7 are the true ribs, 8, 9, 10 is the false ribs, and 11, 12 is the vertebral ribs. And then we come to the lower appendicular region. We start from the pelvic girdle. It is formed by the hip bone. The hip bone consists of ilium, ischium, and pubis. 2 hip bones are there. Next, from the thigh region, we have the femur. We have 2 femurs. Next, in the knee cap, we have the sesamoid bone, larger sesamoid bone, that is the patella. Then we have the tibia and fibula forming our leg. Medial bone is the tibia, lateral bone is the fibula. And the foot complex comprises of 7 tarsal, 5 metatarsal, and 14 phalanges. So that's all. Stay tuned. If you like the session, please press the like button, share it to everyone, and make the anatomy very easy. So this will be also helpful for our civil service experience to know about the details.